Welcome. Welcome to the first episode of OcPOEber. And tonight we will be reading the poems of Edgar Allen Poe. Yes, that's what we will be doing. This is a special thing that I will be doing for the month of October and only October. So, I hope you enjoy it. And I do apologize. I had a surprise bout of COVID recently, and I may sound a little stuffed, so I would like to apologize for that. But I hope you can ignore that and enjoy instead. I'll start off with a classic, one that everybody should know by now. That would be The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow of the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, as so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortals ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there was spoken, the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore, merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon, again, I heard a tapping, something louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, in this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord and lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul is that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness, broken by reply, so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it stutters is only its stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast, and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven, still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled in cushioned seat in front of the bird, and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee respite, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest, in the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, in the lamplight over him streaming throes of his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Sorry, just one moment. Sorry, there's some guys out there being obnoxious and loud. I'm sure you can hear them. I'd like to tell them to be quiet, but somehow they would make me feel like a jerk for telling them to be quiet, even though they're being loud and disruptive. Okay, well, I'm gonna just continue, I guess. I don't know when. Okay, I'm gonna tell them. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't tell them to be quiet. I'm just gonna have to turn down my mic because they're gonna act like I'm the one that's wrong for asking them to be quiet, even though they're being disruptive. So, without further ado, the Colosseum. Type of the antique Rome, rich reliquary of lofty contemplation, left to time by buried centuries of pomp and power. At length, after so many days of weary pilgrimage and burning thirst for the springs of lore that thee lie, I kneel, an altered and humble man, amid thy shadows, and so drink within my very soul thy grandeur, gloom and glory, vastness and age, and memories of eld, silence and desolation and dim night. I feel ye now, I feel ye in your strength, O spells more sure than ever Judean king. Taught in the gardens of Gethsemane, O charms more potent than the rapt Chaldee ever drew down from out of the quiet stars. Here, where a hero fell, a column falls. Here, where a mimic eagle glared in gold, a midnight vigil holds the swarthy bat. Here, where the dames of Rome their gilded hair wave to the wind, now wave to the reed and thistle. Here, where on golden throne the monarch lolled, glides spectre-like unto the marble home, lit by the wan light of the horned moon, the swift and silent lizard of the stones. But stay, these walls, these ivy-clad arcades, these mouldering plinths, these sad and blackened shafts, these vague entablatures, this crumbling frieze, these shattered cornices, this wreck, this ruin, these stones, alas, these gray stones, are they all the famed and colossal left by the corrosive hours of fate and me? Not all, the echoes answer me, not all. Prophetic sounds and loud arise forever from us and from all ruin unto the wise, as melody from Memnon to the sun. We rule the hearts of the mightiest men. We rule with the despotic sway of giant minds. We are not impotent, we pallid stones. Not all of our power is gone. Not all our fame. Not all the magic of our high renown. Not all the wonder that encircles us. Not all the mysteries that in us lie. Not all the memories that hang upon and cling around us as garment, clothing us in a robe of more than glory. This one is called 2. Nor long ago the writer of these lines, in the mad pride of intellectuality, maintained the power of words, denied that ever a thought arose within the human brain, beyond the utterance of the human tongue, and now, as if in mockery of that boast, 2 words, 2 foreign soft syllables, Italian tones made only to be murmured by angels dreaming in the moonlit dew that hangs like chains of pearl on Hermon Hill, have stirred from out the abysses of heart, unthought like thoughts that are souls of thought, richer, far wilder, far diviner visions that even the seraph harper Israfel, who has the sweetest voice of all God's creatures, could hope to utter. And my spells are broken. The pen falls powerless from my shivering hand. With thy dear name as text, though bidden by thee, I cannot write, I cannot speak or think. Alas, I cannot feel, for 'tis not feeling. This standing motionless upon the golden threshold of the wide open gate dreams, gazing entranced adown the gorgeous vistas, and thrilling as I see upon the right, upon the left, and all the way along, amid unpurpled vapors far away, to where the prospect terminates, thee only. They're still out there. I'll do 2 more, because apparently it's just tonight's not my night, because we got a bunch of hooligans outside that don't understand that this is a living space and they're being disruptive. Anyways, this one is called An Enigma. Seldom we find, says Solomon, Don Dunce, half an idea in the profoundest sonnet, though all the flimsy things we see at once, as easily as through a Naples bonnet. Trash of all trash, how can a lady do it? Yet heavier, far than your Petrarchan stuff, owl downy nonsense that the faintest puff twirls into trunk paper, and while you con it, and veritably, soul is right enough. The general Tuckermanites are errant, bubbles, ephemeral, and so transparent. But this is now, you may depend upon it, stable, opaque, immortal, all by dint, and of the dear names that lie concealed within it. Like, I so badly would like to say something to these people, because this is not the first time that they have been out there being loud. I guess if I don't do it now, then they're never going to stop. I can't, because they're just going to turn it around and make me seem like I'm the jerk for... It's great whenever people are being rude, and if you ask them to not be rude, they somehow turn it around and make you seem like you're the one that's wrong. I love when that happens. Okay, I did it. They looked offended that I even asked them. That's how it goes. Okay, this one is called The Haunted Palace. In the greenest of our valleys, by good angels tenanted, once a fair and stately palace, radiant palace, reared its head. In the monarch thought's dominion it stood there. Never seraph spread a pinion over fabric half so fair. Banners yellow, glorious, golden, on its roof did float and flow. This, all this, was in the olden time long ago. And every gentle air that dallied in that sweet day along the ramparts, plumed and pallid, a winged odor went away. Wanders in that happy valley, through two luminous windows, saw spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law. Round about an empty throne, sitting in a state his glory well befitting, the ruler of the realm was seen, and with the pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door, through which came flowing, and sparkling evermore, a troop of echoes whose sweet duty was but to sing in voices of surpassing beauty the wit and wisdom of their king. But evil things in robes of sorrow assailed the monarch's high estate. Ah, let us mourn, for never morrow shall dawn upon him desolate. And round about his home, the glory that blushed and bloomed is but a dim remembered story of the old time entombed. And travelers now, within that valley, through the red litten windows, see vast forms that move fantastically to discordant melody, while, like a ghastly rapid river, through the pale door, a hideous throng rush out forever, and laugh but smile no more. This will be my last one for tonight. The Conqueror Worm. Lo, 'tis a gala night. Within the lonesome latter years, an angel throng, bewinged, bedlight, in veils, and drowned in tears, sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes in the form of God on high mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they, who come and go at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from their condor wings invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that is ever returneth it in the same spot, and much of the madness and more of sin and horror the soul of the plot. But see amid the mimic rout a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It writhes with mortal pangs. The mimes become its food, and the angels sob at vermin fangs in human gore imbued. Out of the lights of it all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, and the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm that the play is the tragedy, man, and its hero, the conqueror worm. That'll be it for me tonight. We'll go much longer next time. I'd like to give a shout out to my two good friends, Wayne and Bailey Marler, for finding this copy of the antique copy of Edgar Allen Poe in their travels and being so kind enough to give it to me. I really appreciate you guys. You are awesome. Hope you guys see this and hear it. Do appreciate you. And I think I will leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed. And we have a few more of these within the month. And I will get to some of the short stories that Poe had written as well, not just the poems. Yeah. Thank you all for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and if you are feeling generous, share with a friend. And yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you